Hello, my name is Troy McKelvey. I'm here to give my affirmative debate speech on community-oriented policing. I would like to start off with a hypothetical. Imagine calling 911 and instead of feeling safe, you feel afraid, not because of the initial threat that you called about, but because of who might show up. This is a reality for many Black and Brown Americans in our marginalized neighborhoods. The people most vulnerable to crime, unfortunately, are also the most likely to mistrust law enforcement, and with good reason. Today, I'm here to advocate for a critical change, the reform of policing practices in racially and economically marginalized communities. Our current system not only fails to build trust, it actively damages it, but doesn't have to be this way. With smarter, community-based policing strategies, we can enhance public safety and promote justice. Let's begin with why this matters. Policing is built on a basic principle: community cooperation. Without it, officers can't solve crimes, prevent violence, or protect residents, but cooperation depends on trust. And in many communities' colors, that trust has been deeply damaged. According to Braga, Brunson, and Draculich in 2019, police legitimacy, the public's belief that officers are fair and just, is essential to their ability to control crime. When people see police as trustworthy, they report crimes, provide information, help in investigations, and even discourage violence in their neighborhoods themselves. But when police use aggressive, racially biased tactics, people stop calling for help, they stop cooperating, which overall just makes everyone less safe. The harm begins with the way proactive policing is carried out in these marginalized communities. Instead of building relationships, many departments rely on what the authors call zero tolerance or order maintenance strategies. These involve frequent stops, searches, and arrests for low-level offenses, but these tactics typically aren't applied equally across the board. The research shows that Black residents, especially young men, are far more likely to be stopped, searched, and subjected to force, even when areas that don't typically have high crime rates. In fact, Black drivers are more than twice as likely to be searched during a traffic stop than white drivers, but less likely to be found with contraband. It's not just the individual stops, it's the pattern. Over time, these encounters send a clear message to marginalized communities: we don't trust you. And that message is damaging, it's traumatic, especially for youth growing up in these communities. It leads to what sociologists call legal cynicism, which is the belief that the law is illegitimate and police are not there to help you. In short, aggressive policing doesn't just fail to solve crime, it actively creates new problems. These harms also aren't accidental. They're built into the way many police departments define success. Braga and his colleagues point to the crime numbers game, where performance is measured by arrests, citations, and stop counts, not by the community's well-being. Worse, many of these strategies reflect a deeper historical legacy of racial control. The same systems that once enforced Jim Crow laws and surveilled civil rights protests now patrol disadvantaged neighborhoods with suspicion and not support. If we want different outcomes, we need to involve different strategies. And the good news is that we have those strategies. We know what works. Problem-oriented policing, an evidence-based approach, focuses on identifying the specific conditions that lead to crime and working with communities to fix them. This means addressing the causes of violence, not just reacting to the symptoms of it. Instead of flooding neighborhoods with patrol cars, police collaborate with the residents, social workers, and city agencies to solve problems like abandoned buildings, disconnected youth, or further gang conflicts. These strategies reduce crime without causing mass arrests and without damaging the trust in the communities. Community policing, when done right, also strengthens the relationship between officers and residents. According to Gill, it improves public perceptions, reduces fear, and lays the foundation for a lasting partnership between the community and law enforcement, which leads to increased safety for everyone. So what do we gain from reform? First, we reduce overall racial disparities. When police focus on specific people and places based on data, not stereotypes, fewer innocent people are going to be harmed. Secondly, we improve public safety. Communities that trust the police are more likely to report crimes, share information, and work together to prevent violence in their communities. And third, we restore the legitimacy to the police. This one is very important because it means that it means more cooperation, less resistance, and ultimately a more effective justice system for everyone, not just these marginalized communities. To be clear, this isn't about anti-police, it's about pro-community, pro-accountability, and pro-safety. We can no longer ignore the evidence that our current strategies are not working. The current approach to policing in marginalized communities causes harm, increases mistrust, and utterly fails to deliver justice in many cases. But with reforms rooted in fairness, collaboration, and respect, we can rebuild trust in these communities, reduce crime, and protect the people who need it the most. It's time to stop choosing safety and equity, and with smarter policing, we can have both. Thank you.